Hi, this is a tutorial on how you can take your class attendance using a Google form that we have customized. However, this can also be further customized within the department or even by individual lecturers. We have shared this attendance form with each of the administrative officers in the Google Drive of your department's Google account. So for demonstration purposes, I'm using the computer science account to be able to do this. I will start off, as I mentioned earlier, we've already customized this, but you can be able to customize this further. And for us, our administrative officer is Eva, so Eva will have to create copies, a number of copies of this, which can easily be done. And remember, even you as a faculty member, you can still go ahead and customize this as long as you have access to the drive of the department's Google account. So for you to be able to do this, I will now demonstrate using a course that I'm also teaching this semester, which is Advanced Programming. And I will click on the three dots, which is an icon that means or implies more, and I'll click on that and select make a copy, and I will type in the name of the document, and I'll call this PPIT 426/CC310 class attendance, and I will click on OK. So you'll notice another attendance form has been created. And if I go to the computer science Google Drive, you'll also notice that it will also be created. Fine, so it's finally been generated. Now here I will change this to my course code, for example, PPIT 426/CC310. Call it Advanced Programming. So the fields that we have a registration number, we have a full name, the unit code and the unit title, the name of the lecturer. There are some courses that are being co-taught, so it would be good, for example, if Dr. Chow and I are teaching this particular course, you could put the name of the lecturer of who taught for that particular week. And then you can be able to, the topic that was covered, and the general remarks, so a student can be able to put any general remarks. Now we've made all other fields mandatory for the student to fill, like their registration number, their full name, but the general remarks we have left it not required. So a student can opt to decide whether they want to put in a remark or not. Once you're done with that, this particular form can now be shared through the Google Meet online class session that you'll be conducting. And for you to be able to do that, you will click on Send, and this will allow you to pick out, you can either send it to their emails, but we don't want you to do that. We'd like you to share it through the online class session. So you'll select on this particular icon, which allows you to insert it as a link. Now the link will be provided here. Now of course you notice it's a very long link, so you can click on this checkbox called shorten URL and select copy, and then now you can use this URL to be able to share it within your class online session. So I'm sure we've seen a lot of these forms being shared in the number of trainings and meetings that we've conducted since March. So it's basically copying that and then sharing it within your class. Now, another important thing, and I will just for demonstration purposes fill that form over here and then be able to type in my name. So what happens here is that within the form itself, we request that you open the form for accepting responses from students. I'm assuming, let's say we have a class from 8 to 11 or 8 to 10. So at 8, before you start off your class, switch these on so that you start accepting responses. And you'll notice that at that point, this particular point, I was not able to type in anything because it was locked. So if I refresh this button for the link, you'll notice that now it shows up, and I'll just type in my name and a demo. So I'll click on submit. Now for you as a lecturer, when I go back to the form, you'll notice that already you have one response already taken in. So you can get to see who the response was from. And for purposes, once the class is over, it's always important to just click on this toggle button here for whether you should accept responses or not, so that now after 10 o'clock, no student should be able to type in or fill in for that particular attendance form. Now for the administrative officer within the department, they will be able to generate the class attendance, and you can also do the same. So if I click on these three buttons, and remember the questions for your attendance form are here, the responses are on this other tab. So when I click on responses and you click on these three buttons, which indicates more, you can click on download the responses, and this will drop or give you a zip file. You'll notice at the bottom left of my screen, you'll see a zip file, which when you open, now shows me the BBIT 426, which when I open, I can get to see my class attendance. And the beauty about this is that you'll get to see a timestamp, so that anyone who tried to fill the form after my 10 o'clock class, you can be able to lock them out, because this form was supposed to be only available between 8 to 10 during your class time. So that this tries to block also users from trying to access the form beyond. But remember, colleagues, it's very important that you close the form after your class session. Let me just close this. Yeah, so remember, once my class is over, you should toggle the button to not accepting responses, and for your next class, you click on again, you open it up now for accepting responses. So you will have only one file that will have the attendance of students starting from your first class or from your first lecture to the last lecture. And for purposes of your weekly reports that need to be submitted to the administrative officer, to the chair for onward forwarding to the Directorate of Quality Assurance and Performance, then you can be able to get information that is just for that particular week based on the timestamp provided. So once you're done with that, you can also integrate these within your class itself. So remember, it's just like the way you'd add a module. So I'm in my actual class for advanced programming, this within my course itself. So you can put up an announcement that only the class attendance will be administered only during the online sessions. So students have to be in for that particular session for them to be able to fill their class attendance. So I can put a form there, an announcement there, and you give a small message for the same, and you click on save. So at least for that particular just for demo purposes, I'll just type that. So students should know that class attendance form will only be administered during the class sessions. Thank you.